I love to talk about the nice parts of Greek mythology for a change, you know. A story so pure and beautiful, a psychological effect was named after it. The love between King Pygmalion and he hated women. What a surprise! Hello, my beautiful basilisks and mythology in mind. You can call me M&M, and today I give birth to a new series in my channel, which I'm going to call Mind and Mythology. Yes, I'm a narcissist. Pun intended. So let's get into our first psychological myth, shall we? So, what's the Pygmalion effect? It's a psychological phenomenon wherein high expectations lead to improved performance in a given area. Okay, to understand this better, let's talk about the mythology part first. Pygmalion was king of Cyprus, and he was the worst. Well, no, Zeus is the worst, but he was kind of a shithead anyways. Well, he was searching for the perfect woman to get married to, but all of them were fussy and imperfect. Am I right, fellas? No? Okay. Sadly, he did not find anyone who, put up with every expectation he had. I don't think he was perfect though, but you know how this usually works. Anyway, he decided to create that special one instead, as people with perfect mental health usually do. He created the statue of a woman who was apparently so beautiful he fell in love with it. Realistically, who wouldn't fall in love with a beautiful woman who can think, speak, or do absolutely anything? It's the fucking dream. He prayed to Aphrodite for his statue to become a real person, and Aphrodite decided that this man deserved love. Probably it wasn't a busy day for her. I wouldn't got this petition approved anyways. He went home and he started making out with the statue. It became a real person and it fell in love with the king. The end. So I'm not going to get into the consent part, like the king did. Sorry. Anyway, why did she fall in love with this fucking nice guy TM? And let's just move on because I can't be all day here ranting. The Pygmalion effect makes one individual that we perceive as good be good under all circumstances. Okay, I think an example might be more illustrative, and I will use the setting of a classroom, like the two psychologists that proposed this idea. Robert Ronstral, I'm sorry, I'm not good at names, and Leonard Jacksopon. I don't know, I'm sorry. Imagine that we have a classroom with a teacher, whom I'm going to call Miss Not and Stereotype. Miss Not and Stereotype is going to start teaching for a new class to her, so she asks that class last teacher, Mr. Not All Teachers. He tells her that the class is pretty average, except one little girl, called Big Brain, which is really sweet, intelligent, and in general a good student. So when Miss Not and Stereotype starts teaching to her new class, she realizes that all that was true. Big Brain is in fact a really good student. What is happening here? Is she though? Well, she might be, but what is really happening here is that the expectations that the teacher has put on their pupil became true because of how they act on them. See, Big Brain sometimes talks in class, like most kids do, and Miss Not and Stereotype lets her. I mean, she's such a nice girl. Just because she talks a little big, we're not going to blow it out of proportion. And if she's not having results according to expectations, her teacher will give her extra help because she expects more of her. She also sits her at the front of the class, so Big Brain can see the board more clearly and gets less distracted. See how she's a good student in part because of what her teacher expects of her. But the Pygmalion effect is not all good, and it has its negative counterpart, called the Golem Effect. They together form what is called the self-fulfilling prophecy. We already discussed its positive side, but what about the Golem Effect? It is a psychological phenomenon in which lower expectations placed upon individuals, either by supervisors or the individuals themselves, lead to poor performance by the individual. Why is it called that way? Well, in Jewish mythology, a golem was a clay creature made to protect the Jews, but it had to be destroyed because it was getting more and more corrupt. Let's expand on our last example. Mr. Not All Teachers also told Miss Not and Stereotype that there is also a really bad student in class. His name is Bad Boy, and look at him, ugh, you can see in his face that he is the worst. So his teacher sits him at the back of the class so he doesn't annoy her good students, and she reprimands him when he's not behaving. I mean, he always talks in class. And if he's not getting good grades, what would you expect of a bad kid like him? Obviously, I'm not saying either all teachers do this, not all people do. And this situation is pretty exaggerated, but it's just to bring the point home. We do this sometimes, not on purpose, of course. It's just an easy way to categorize people into simple boxes. For example, someone might remember you of a good friend that you used to have, so you're naturally inclined to be kinder to that person. But maybe you see traits of another individual that remembers you of a bully you used to have, so you are a bit aggressive with that person. You may not realize this, but it is possible it can happen. This can also happen at an interpersonal level. For example, if you're telling yourself that you're not valid or that you're not intelligent enough, it is really possible that your grades start lowering because you are believing that of yourself and you are acting upon it. The same thing can happen, in reverse, that people tell or you tell yourself that you are an intelligent and valid person and you act upon your beliefs, so you start acting more like that. So remember, try to think outside that boxes and don't let impressions take the worst of yourself on others. And you remember that you're beautiful and smart and valid and that I love you. Have a nice day, and please leave a like, subscribe and comment, as it really helps my channel. Tell me if you like this new series and would like to see more. Have a nice Iron Age. Bye.